Well, you guys voted for the How to Train Your Dragon knockoff I found. So instead allow me to review an actual How to Train Your Dragon thing first. So we can know what we're talking about soon enough. Every once in a while, a movie comes along and just hits you differently than anything you've ever seen before. For me, that movie was How to Train Your Dragon. I love that movie. It is, without a doubt, one of my all-time favorites. I have watched that movie at least 1,000 times, I'm sure. In fact, I remember when it was still brand new, just as it came out on DVD, I must have watched it at least twice a day for a full month. Until finally I got sick of it and stopped watching it for a while. I can't even remember the last time I did that for any movie, but yeah, in case you couldn't tell, I love this movie. The sequels are also pretty great. Even the weakest one is still a solid 7.5 out of 10 movie, and The Hidden World was such a perfect ending to the story. Having Hiccup say goodbye to his friend, learning how to become strong without him, getting married to Astrid and having his own kids, How to Train Your Dragon was a story about growing up. And actually watching Hiccup grow up from a scrawny little loser to an amazing chief was just so satisfying to see. It was truly a perfect ending to How to Train Your Dragon. Too bad DreamWorks didn't think so. Yeah, we're still getting How to Train Your Dragon stuff despite how the third movie ended. At least with some of these, it's not like the worst thing in the world. First you have that Christmas special, Homecoming, which actually served as a sort of midquel which took place right before the ending of The Hidden World. It actually explains why Hiccup and Astrid decided to take their kids to meet their dragons in the first place. Then you got that spin-off show Rescue Riders on Netflix, but to be fair, that one is aimed for like really little kids. It's like Paw Patrol but with dragons instead. It's dumb, but it's really harmless overall, so it really isn't even worth getting mad at. Which is less than I can say about the Nine Realms, because unlike the other two, this is a direct sequel to the actual How to Train Your Dragon story. Taking place 1,300 years later, we're now in the modern day, and dragons are still hiding from the humans. No idea how they managed to do that with modern technology being a thing, but okay. Not gonna lie though, I do think there is potential in advancing the story to the modern age. We spent the last 12 years in the Viking times with 3 movies, multiple TV shows, and spin-off specials. So putting us in a new time period could really open the door for new possibilities. New dragons, new enemies, new lands to go to. This really could be something special to the Dragons franchise. So I sat down on Hulu, watched all 6 episodes, and... wait, really? Only 6? The last show had like over 100 episodes over a 6-year span.
Did they run out of budget for the last animation?
I can accept the animation not being as good as the movie since it's a show, but really? Only 6 episodes? Well, okay, I feel like I didn't watch anything though. From the start, it just looked like Camp Cretaceous only with dragons instead of dinosaurs. The models for the human characters really look stock, and none of them have any distinguishable personality. They're all just pretty standard, generic characters that you've seen like a million times in other kids shows. Our main character Tom is a reckless outcast that everybody looks down on, but one night while sneaking out, he stumbles upon a dragon that's hurt. Soon enough, he befriends the dragon in a very familiar way, and begins to learn about dragons slowly and steadily as the story carries on. While all that's going on, the people are planning on doing something that threatens the dragons, so it's up to our hero to rally up his friends so he can protect the dragons once and for all. Yes, movie, I have seen the first How to Train Your Dragon. Kind of you to remind me how amazing it is by showing me how much of a soulless rehash you are. I'm not even kidding when I say that. This entire show, throughout all 6 episodes, is just ripping off the original movie again with minor differences here and there. The show isn't even ashamed of it either. Like, take the scene where Tom meets his dragon Thunder, which, by the way, great name for the dragon. You guys clearly stayed up all throughout the night coming up with that one. Good job. This is just a forbidden friendship scene again. It's not like a little nod or two here and there. It's practically the entire thing. Remember that scene in the original movie where Hiccup gave Toothless a fish and then Toothless ate the fish but then threw it back up and forced Hiccup to eat it? Well, that's exactly what Tom and Thunder do. Oh wait, it's not a fish, it's fish nuggets. That totally makes it different because it's modern. Even the score is just ripping off the forbidden friendship scene. Jesus Christ. But okay, I'm sure the side characters are different, right? Not very. Like I said before, their personalities are very flat and based around things like being into magic or being the son of a soldier or something like that. You got June, who's the girl who becomes quite suspicious of Tom and so follows him to his hideout and discovers the dragons. Huh, boy, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Then you have D'Angelo, the animal lover who is super scared at first, but over time becomes really affectionate of his dragon. Again, I feel like I've seen this somewhere. And Alexandria is... Actually, she's the best character in the show. Mainly because everything about her character feels like it's not from the original movie. Alexandria is shy and obsessed with her computer, doesn't really socialize much, and even suffers from agoraphobia, which is a fear for the outdoors. Her character is the only one of the main characters that fully embraces being in the modern age, and doesn't feel like she's ripping off anyone from the original movie. Also, her dragon is the coolest one of them all. I just really love the design of it with the chameleon and feathers-like look. Compared to the other dragons, which are just the dragons from the original movie again with slight changes to them. Wu and Wei is just a monstrous nightmare combined with a hideous Zippleback, and Plowhorn is just a Gronko with a rhino horn and beetle wings. Again, super imaginative, guys. There's just nothing unique to any of these characters or their dragons save for Alexandria and Feathers. Really, one of the biggest changes is that the side characters learn about dragons and bond with them steadily throughout the show, as opposed to just doing it in the last act of the movie. But really, not enough has changed with the characters' personalities, the dragons themselves, or the finale to make the show stand on its own 2 feet. It's just way too reliant on making callbacks to the original movie to the point where it just becomes too damn noticeable and too frequent to ignore.
That's for kidnapping me. That's for everything else.
Ow! That's for scaring me to death.
But what about everything else?
Would you kindly shut your noise hole?
Speaking of the finale, did I mention that a giant dragon appears that threatens all the people that our main characters love? Again, how weird is that, right? While I do like the design of the Fault Ripper, did it really have to go and make the same fucking sound effects as the Red Death?
I know, it's nobody's fault.
Everything that's not just loosely taken from the first movie is just the typical generic stuff that you've seen from any generic kid show, like the strict parents that worry too much over their children, the over-reliance on kiddie humor, and all that stuff. When it's not being a ripoff, it's just being plain forgettable. Save for Alex and Feathers, of course. They are innocent in all of this and should have been the main characters. Overall, it's not a good first impression. I do wish How to Train Your Dragon just ended with the Hidden World, but I get it. As long as there's money to be made, then How to Train Your Dragon will one day just end up like SpongeBob. Once beloved and idolized, but now just tired and begging for death. With only 6 episodes, the show really just feels like the original movie, just longer and with a lot less charm. Most of the characters aren't that unique, most of the dragons aren't that unique, and if a season 2 does come, then I've got every reason to believe it'll just be like the second movie. With the villain they were foreshadowing, the warning signs are there. You want my advice? Just rewatch the first movie again. It has better animation, better characters, a better story with better pacing, and of course, better dragons. But hey, at least it's not like What's Its movie that I'm reviewing next. Boy, I can't wait to talk about that guy, and this thing, and oh boy, that looks stupid. Oh, and this girl is thick as hell. God damn me, she thick.
And I find it hard to let go. The memories keep me together. Gotta fight till the end.